Sadly, the hit series A Discovery of Witches is drawing to a close after 3 very successful seasons. The show tells the story of Diana Bishop, a historian and witch who accesses Ashmole 782 and knows she must solve its mysteries. She is offered help by the enigmatic Matthew Claremont, but he's a vampire, and as we know, witches should never trust vampires. So stay tuned and don't go away, because A Discovery of Witches is canceled, and here's the real reason why. First up, why has A Discovery of Witches ended? Let's find out. In A Discovery of Witches Season 3, vampire Matthew Claremont and historian-turned-witch Diana Bishop are returning for more romance and dangerous adventures. In Season 2, their journey to Elizabethan England, where they were searching for answers about the ongoing feud and the book that could resolve it all, the Book of Life, Diana and Matthew subsequently return to the present day and discover things had gone a bit off the rails while they were gone. Diana's Aunt Emily was murdered by a scheming witch, Peter Knox, and a blood rage vampire was running around biting any human he could find. With the help of their friends such as fellow vampires Gallowglass and Marcus, Diana's witch aunt Sarah, and human Phoebe, Diana and Matthew unite everyone, deal with dangerous vampire relatives and scheming witches. They also raise newborn twins and essentially prove that all the creatures should learn to get along so they can all have a happy ending. So we now know that Season 3 is over, but could we see the vampires, witches, and demons return for a 4th season? Here's what you need to know about the show and its future. The entire series, A Discovery of Witches, is based on the 3 books in Deborah Harkness's All Souls trilogy, A Discovery of Witches, Shadow of Night, and the Book of Life. Next up, will there be a 4th season of this much-loved show? Let's have a look. We're sorry to report, but Season 3 will be the last season of Diana and Matthew's adventures, as the show has been canceled. The cast recently opened up about whether they would return for a possible spin-off series, and in an exclusive interview, actor Stephen Cree, who plays Gallowglass, talked about whether he would return for more crazy adventures if the opportunity presented itself. Cree said, "I would 100% be up for more Gallowglass. I don't know whether Sky have the rights to do that though." Gallowglass is a great character. It's been like playing 2 characters because in Season 2, he is like a rock and roll vampire in the Elizabethan era, and in Season 3, he is a motorbiker vampire in the present day who is in a completely different state of mind. I think there is a huge scope for the different stories of those missing years between Season 2 and 3 and the future. The only aspect I wouldn't fancy is to having to spend so much time in the gym again. Actor Tanya Moody, who plays the demon Agatha in the series, thinks there could be a spin-off series. In a recent interview, Moody had this to say: "The main thing I've always contended with playing a demon is that fans always ask me, what exactly do demons do? You know, witches do fancy spells, vampires bite people, and they're always really testy. And demons are always just a bit, you know, they wear designer clothes, they're a bit kooky or something. Is that a power?" Up next, what are the chances of a spin-off series? You're about to find out. Harkness has only written 3 books for A Discovery of Witches storyline. However, in 2018, she wrote an origin book called Time's Convert about Marcus Whitmore, Matthew's vampire son, and it's set during the American War of Independence and the French Revolution. The book essentially serves as a sequel to the first 3 books. In a recent media interview, actor Ed Blumel was asked whether there was a chance Time's Convert could be made into a spin-off series and said, "I don't have a clue. We're always the last to know as actors, so who knows? There may be the opportunity for it, and it would be fun." The cast were well aware during the filming of Season 3 that the 3rd season would be their last. The star of the series, Teresa Palmer, who plays Diana, talked about the series ending during A Discovery of Witches virtual panel and said, "I would say bittersweet and sort of the perfect word. I've been able to be with Diana for a few years now, and just seeing where she began and where the journey finishes, I feel so ready to have parted with her because I think she landed in such a beautiful place. But I think at the same time, it was hard to say goodbye." Palmer posted on a photo on Instagram as filming on the final season wrapped in early 2021 and captioned the photo with the message, "The end of an era. Since 2017, I've had the great privilege and pleasure of embodying Diana Bishop. Today, I say goodbye to this powerhouse of a character as we rolled our last shot of the last season of this trilogy." Stay tuned and don't go away, because we're giving you the latest scoop on what's happening with this incredible series. Next up, did the cast of the show really film scenes on a real airstrip? Let's take a look. Stephen Cree spoke candidly about what the last day on set was like and said, "It was freezing. It was 1 or 2 o'clock in the morning. I was filming with Alex Kingston, Teresa Palmer, Olivier Husband, and Owen Teal, and we were filming on some airstrip somewhere outside Bristol, and it was freezing and raining, and because we were so cold, we were just desperate to finish. I had already filmed the tattoo scene by that point, where Cree had his shirt off, so when they brought out cheeseburgers and brownies at one point, I had about 5 cheeseburgers that night." A Discovery of Witches is a fantasy show that has a very specific target audience audience in mind. It's not some gritty, bloody epic like The Witcher or Game of Thrones, nor is it a long, epic saga like his Dark Materials. Season 3 delivers everything fans enjoyed from the previous 2 chapters of the show and picks up right after the dramatic graveyard fight from Season 2. We know that Emily is dead and Peter Knox is back in Venice and trying to get Baldwin and Gerber to attack Matthew and Diana. When Matthew and Diana return from the 16th century, they realize that the situation between all of the races is more volatile than it ever was. Up next, what else will Season 3 have in store? Let's have a look. It looks as though there may be blood rage vampires on a rampage, and Oxford becomes the new hunting ground for the vicious killer. Some will recognize this vampire as a face from the past who has returned with a thirst for vengeance. The sins of Matthew's father will come back to haunt him, and Diana will be pregnant with a mission that'll keep her busy for most of the season. Diana will need to find the 3 missing pages from the Book of Life, and will need to bring them together to stop an epic battle from happening, but it's doubtful that she'll be able to stop it in time. You'll find a ton of conflict in Season 3, but the writers will try to give you the happy ending that you're searching for. When it does come to an end though, you might be feeling a little overwhelmed because it does feel somewhat rushed compared to what happens in the book series. In episode 7, the final episode, there's a crazy standoff between Gerbert and Isabeau and a guy named Ransom, and a tense meeting with Matthew during the middle chapters. The journey itself, however, is really compelling and leaves audiences on the edge of their seats and wanting more. And it's obvious that there was a consistent effort to try and add as much magic and fantasy as possible into Season 3, with the goal of going out with a bang essentially. Finally, questions that need answers. There is an amazing fight in episode 9 between Matthew and the main antagonist. Diana uses her powers across the 7 episodes, and the visual effects are out of this world the entire time, such as projections, transforming a whole alleyway, or simply flame conjuring spells. Critics are calling A Discovery of Witches a visual treat, but there are some big questions that fans want answered. Questions such as, what is blood rage? Who is the prophecy about? And how do these races come together in harmony? You'll be happy to know that all of these questions are explored and answered, so fans are definitely going to be satisfied with the way A Discovery of Witches ends. The central themes in this series have always seen a big focus on love and romance. That is what drives the show. If you're new to the show and going into it expecting something different, you'll be disappointed. A Discovery of Witches is light, fluffy entertainment, and Season 3 nails that perfectly. As we said, it might feel a bit rushed at times, and the story could have a mega battle between the different races, but nonetheless, the series ends in a great way. That's a wrap for today's video. Thanks for watching.